Hello everyone, I'm Pingzhe. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are gonna go through the perimeter and area of different shapes. Okay, so just gonna write down what is happening in this video. We're gonna be looking at the perimeter and the area of different shapes. Okay, just a little bit of information. We're gonna be looking at square, rectangle. Okay, after that we are still gonna look at the triangles. Okay, then something called the parallelogram. I hope that I spelled it correctly actually. Okay, and last we are gonna look at trapezium. Okay, so this is a very important one because they're usually gonna ask about asking you to look for the area of let's say a region and some stuff. So please make sure that you understand what is this. Okay, so first thing, we're gonna go shape by shape. All right, so we're gonna define what is a perimeter first. Okay, so the perimeter is something like the total exterior length of a shape. All right, so I'm gonna say the total exterior length of any shape. All right, let's say we have a rectangle, so the perimeter of a rectangle will be uh the total length of this length plus this length plus this length plus this length. All right, it's just that simple. It's the perimeter. All right, so I'm going to erase this first because I'm going to go on to uh define what is an area. So area is like how do I explain this? Area is like a region covered by the shape. All right, region in the shape. All right, so if you have a rectangle right here, so this area, this is the region covered by the rectangle, then this is the area of the rectangle. All right, so now we know the brief definition of this perimeter and area. So let's go on to our first shape for today, which is a square. All right, so first thing I'm gonna draw a square right here. All right, so this is a square. Okay, so to define this as a square, I must say all the sides are equal. All right, so I will name this length called x. All right, so in question terms, it will usually say given a square with side x. All right, so if you see this, then you must know all the sides are equal because it's a square. Then you have x at every place. All right, so first thing, what is the perimeter of a square? All right, the perimeter of a square is the total exterior length. All right, the total exterior length of the shape. So how do we calculate the total exterior length? Okay, okay, I'm gonna choose this. So one part here is x plus every places is x, and we have four sides for square. All right, so perimeter is equals to x plus x plus x plus x, which in turns will give you the perimeter is 4x. All right, it's just that simple. And the area is the region covered by this. So for every single one small block right here, you will have a base and a height. All right, so since this is also x, therefore you can say the area is x multiply with x, and you will get x squared, unit square. All right, so how this area works is if you are to imagine this, I divide this into a lot of small blocks. All right, so let's say this is 1 unit. So 1 multiply with 1, so it's like a unit square. All right, so when you have different squares here, then it will increase at both base and both height. So the total area will be this length right here multiplied with this length, and then you will get the whole region of this shape. All right, hope that's clear. And now we're gonna move on to a rectangle. So a rectangle is a little bit different than the square in terms of the perimeters and the areas. So for a rectangle, okay, to define a rectangle, when you draw a shape, okay, you need to make sure that there is one dash to denote that these two have the same length, and a double dash in the other places, so to denote that the top and the bottom, or the two longer sides, have the same length. All right, so just a little bit of addition to this. If you want to make sure that you are drawing a square, or you are gonna tell others you are drawing a square, then a right angle here might prove to be useful. Or if you want to draw 4 right angles, it's okay, but usually 1 is enough, because since it's a square, all places are the same length, then 190 degrees means all the other places are 90 degrees also. All right, so it goes the same right here. Maybe you can just draw 2. All right, so this 2 right here is a 90 degrees. All right, so this is enough to prove that this is a rectangle. Okay, so first thing we're gonna be looking at, say that this is, which color did I use just now? The same one. Okay, so we're gonna say this is a rectangle with base x units and height y units, because they are two different lengths. All right, so a rectangle with base x and height y. All right, so what is the perimeter? Okay, so the perimeter is the total exterior length. So you can see this is x will be equals to x plus, and you go up here is y, plus you go here will be x, because it's the same length, plus x and plus y. Therefore, this is equals to 2x plus y. All right, so to make it neater, you factorize it. I mean, usually you won't work in unknowns, so you can just sub in the value given, and you can get the answer. So this is the perimeter of a rectangle. And what is the area? The area is the total region covered, so will be the base multiplied with the height, so it's equals to x multiply y. Therefore, you get xy unit square. All right, it's just that easy. So next, we're going to be looking at a parallel. Oh, okay, never mind. Let's look at a triangle first. There are different types of triangles, but all of them actually yields the same same formula, I can say. So I'm gonna draw this is let's draw at the next page. Okay, so this is an equilateral triangle. Okay, so all of these lengths are the same, and this is an isosceles triangle where only this two is the same. And last but not least, we have a there's a name for this kind of triangle where there's no equal sides. All right, but I kind of forgot, so I might add it in the how do I draw this? Like this and like this. Well, it still looks like a, okay, I'm gonna draw like a right angle one, so that all is different. All right, so let's name this as a triangle with x, and this is y and z. All right, and this is just a random a, b, and c. All right, so okay, never mind. I'm not gonna do the weird one. So we're gonna go through the perimeter and area one by one. Okay, so for equilateral triangle and isosceles triangle. Okay, first we have the perimeter. Okay, so goes the same. The perimeter is the total area outside. Therefore, it's x plus x plus x, so it's 3x. All right, but for isosceles triangles, since it's different, so you have y, y, and z. So it's 2y plus z. All right, it's just that easy. Okay, and the second one is area. So for triangles, since there is like no height, right? No height given here because it's all either the base is x, but the slanted is x2. The slanted length is not a height. Therefore, we will need to look for this right here, which is the height. All right. So the question will either tell you this is a triangle with base x and height h. All right. Or you will need to look for the height yourself by using a lot of different ways, like trigonometry that we are gonna be looking at for in the future videos, and sine cosine rule, or even the half AB sine C formula. So there's a lot of different ways to look for h. So for now, we're just gonna be working in unknowns so that you know the actual formula for a triangle, and in the future videos only we will look for ways to look for the h. All right, so for the area right here, will be 1 over 2 x 1 over 2 x times h. All right, and now for the area of an isosceles triangle, as you can see from up here, is also 1 over 2 base times the height. So it will be equals to 1 over 2 z times h. All right, so this is how you can go through the area of the triangles. Okay, it's usually 1 over 2 base times height. All right, so for this right here, I'm gonna write it's just base times height. Maybe not here. I'm gonna write it somewhere. Area here is base times height. Okay, and it goes the same to the square. The area will be, oh, it's a different color. Base times height. Okay. This right here, 1 over 2 base times height. All right, so you might ask, why is there a 1 over 2 in the triangles? So in simple terms, a triangle can be seen as half of a quadrilateral, right? So if you look at the if you look at the square, when you divide it by half, then it's kind of like an isosceles triangle. So you know that base times height is the area of a square, rectangle, and stuff. So when you divide it by half, you will multiply it with 1 over 2. So this is how you can easily remember how to get the area of a triangle. All right, it's just that simple. So after the triangles, we're gonna be looking at parallelograms. Okay, just to have a check. Yeah, parallelograms. So what is a parallelogram? Okay, to draw it out first, this is a parallelogram. It's still ugly, so this is a parallelogram. So it's basically a slanted rectangle. All right, so how do you calculate the area in parallelogram? Okay, so this will be two same and this will be two different ones, and we're gonna name it x and y. Okay, so first the perimeter. the perimeter is the same, will be equals to y plus x plus x. So you will get 2x plus y. All right, and the area right now. All right, so the area we know for a rectangle is base times the height. So for parallelogram, it's a slanted one. So it is still base times height, but you will need to look for the height here. All right, so by using the trigonometry rules that we're gonna see in the future videos, I think we are gonna see it in the next 5 or 6 videos oncoming. So from x here, if you have the theta right here, so this is h will be equals to x sine, x sine theta. All right, if I'm not mistaken, x cos x sine. Yeah, so h will be x sine theta, and we will see this in our trigonometry videos. So the area will be base times height, and this will be equals to h times the y. All right, and we know that the h is x sine theta, so it's xy sine theta. It's just that simple. All right, so if we're gonna do it in terms of this also, let's go back to the triangles. All right, so if we are gonna say this is theta, okay, so this is gonna be h is gonna be x sine theta also. All right, and this is theta, and h is gonna be y sine theta. All right, therefore this is also equals to, let's change a darker color right here. No, this one. Okay, will be equals to 1 over 2 x squared sine theta. And this one right here will be equals to 1 over 2. This is y sine theta. So it's yz sine theta. All right. So yeah, parallelogram, we are done. And we are going to go to the last part of this video, which is to calculate the perimeter and the area of a trapezium. Okay, so what is a trapezium? All right, a trapezium is also counted as a quadrilateral. So this is how you draw a trapezium. Yeah, so this is a ugly trapezium. Okay, I'm gonna admit that. All right, so you assume all of these are straight lines. Okay, so a trapezium is a quadrilateral that have two. Okay, that has two parallel sides. All right, so in this case, this and this is parallel. All right, so we're gonna write down the length is A, B, C, and D. And same thing, we have theta right here. All right. So for any for any quadrilateral, the basic area will be base times height. All right. So you will see how this theta is gonna come into work later on. So now let's look at the perimeter first. Okay. Number one, the perimeter is just the exterior length, so it's just A plus B plus C plus D. No issue. All right. Next, we're going to be looking at the area. All right. So this is a little bit tricky because it's not just base times height. All right. However, if you can see, I'm just going to write down the formula for area is 1 over 2 A plus B multiply with h, where this is h. All right, so how do we make this into sense? All right, how do we, like, if you forget the formula in the exams? All right, so I'm gonna try to actually explain this right here. So if you imagine this, okay, let's do it in the next page. If you imagine this trapezium as like this, all right, okay, this is A, B, C, and D. Or we're going to just follow back how we A, B, C is the right side. Okay. C and D. Okay, so the trapezium is counted as one of a compound shape where you can see it's a combination of a square, or I can say it's a rectangle, all right, because we don't know whether these are the equal length or not, and two triangles. So if we are to assume these two have the same length, then we can change this to, this is A, and since the whole thing here is B, so we can say this is A and this is B minus A divided by 2. Alright? Alright, that makes sense, right? Because B minus A divided by 2, when these two places add up, is B minus A plus this is A and it's equals to B. Alright? So from this part here, if we are to write a H here, alright, so this is H. If we are to calculate the area, okay, so region A, all right, let's write it as region X, all right, so region X, the area will be equals to A times H, right? No problem. Then region Y and Z. All right, so this is the trick right here. Since these two have the same length, all right, and these are right angle triangles, which means these two hypotenuse will be the same. All right, so these two are congruent triangles. So we have said about the right angle hypotenuse rule, RHS. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, from the previous video when we talk about congruent triangles. So if you don't know about that, you can go back to that video. So we can bring this up right here. So you can get something like Y and Z, all right? And this side right here is B minus A over 2, and this is H, right? So these two triangles became a rectangle. So if you cancel this part and you bring it up here, all right? So it's basically a rectangle, all right? So the area of YZ, all right, this rectangle is just base times the height. So it's B minus A divided by 2 multiplied with H. So a trapezium is a combination of both, all right? So because it's a compound shape, so it's equals to AH plus B minus A divided by 2 H, all right? So if you're going to do some simple algebras, all right, you will get something equals to H, bring it out, okay, 2A plus B minus A divided by 2. All right, so simple algebra. Make sure that you know how to do this by now. All right, then this will be equals to, I'll bring the 2 out, 1 over 2 H A plus B. All right, and this actually proves the formula 1 over 2 A plus B H. All right, I'm just gonna exchange the H to the back. All right, so maths is fun. Yeah, you don't actually need to remember a lot of formulas if you know how to derive it. You know how to derive it from the basic ones, because you know that rectangle is just base times height and trapezium is just a compound shape, so you can derive the formula if you have time in exam. If not, then it's better to memorize, but I'm just telling you, you don't have to. Okay, so this is the area of a trapezium that we proved here. All right, so yeah, and this marks the end of the video. So in IGCSE exams, they won't just give you a triangle and ask you to find the area. This is way too easy and there's no point for testing. So what they can do is maybe they might give you some compound shapes. All right, compound shapes like this is a semicircle, with a rectangle, and there's a triangle right down here. All right, and they're gonna say like this length right here is x and this is y and so on. They ask you to find the compound area of the whole shape. All right, so the area of a semicircle we will see at the next video. I'm gonna do everything about circles in the next video. So this is maybe like a typical question they will ask in exam that costs maybe 2 to 3 marks only. So please make sure that you don't do any silly mistakes right here. And yeah, it's just basically using all the basic methods that we have seen through this video: the area of a triangle and the area of a rectangle and the area of a semicircle that we're going to see in the next video. So it's not too hard. You just need to make sure that you understand and you know how to do it. All right, so yeah, this marks the end of the video. And just for a recap, we had looked at all the perimeter and area for square, rectangle, triangle, parallelogram, and trapezium. All right, so yeah, I hope you guys understand, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.